Hello everybody, if you are watching this video, get ready. You're going to find out about quantum healing hypnosis sessions, what are they about, what to expect from a session, and also what to prepare before, after, and during the session. So quantum healing hypnosis technique combines several ideas. It is about healing, it is about getting guidance. Some distinctions that might be helpful if you're new, if you have never tried hypnosis or haven't got too much idea of what this could be about. And also if you want to make a better decision where this could be something of interest or helpful for you or not. So let's say the first thing to say is to clear up any misconceptions that people may have. In an hypnosis session, you always are absolutely in control. You are the person in control, and the therapist or the practitioner, depending on where you are approaching a session of traditional or modern hypnosis, which is different, or quantum healing hypnosis, would be the guide. And now in normal, modern, or traditional or old hypnosis style, normally the therapist or the hypnotherapist would guide the patients and help readjust or reshape or reframe some beliefs that are underlying some condition that they may want to improve in their life. Let's say someone is dealing with insomnia or sleeping or smoking or gambling or anxiety. This is something that hypnosis has been shown very successful with. So it would require someone like an hypnotherapist that is skilled, qualified, has good values and integrity to guide the person through, and then readjust through communication, through language, whilst the client is on a state of trance, which simply means of lowered awakeness, but still and always in control, to guide to reshape this belief. So sometimes we could say the success of the session, depends on what? Depends on how open the receiver, how open the client is, how willing to change, and also how much the hypnotherapist is going to be good with their own language to reframe the beliefs. Now, why then quantum healing hypnosis? It's different and has almost nothing to do about this. If not, the fact that it is the same, yet it goes deeper, is that level of awareness within the brainwaves. So, Dolores Cannon, which was the inventor of the original technique, was very controversial and innovative in that same way. And using brain waves of a deeper level, it's a non-monistic level, that many traditional hypnotherapists were almost afraid to use. And I would say, well, weird things happen at some non-ballistic level. And she always used to laugh and joke and say, from the top, for wisdom and like such loving heart and intelligence, and say, well, if you listen to my work or read my books, you know that there are weird things happening in some ballistic state. Now, in reality, there's nothing to worry about. What I love about this session is that the hypnotherapist or the practitioner takes a different role. So it's more like the guide. It's more like the guide leading you, the person trying the experience, throughout an inner journey. Nothing is not said that is not relevant for you at that time. What I also love is the transparency, because the session is recorded, so you always have the freedom and the choice to listen to the recording as many times as you feel beneficial for you, and at whichever time it's of help for yourself. This enables also to if there are messages that come up, sometimes there is a time component, a linear time component, to which hearing a repeated message through a different part of life may land in a different way. And sometimes there are going to be times where you are more ready and prepared to receive a message. But let me be a little bit more clear. This deeper level of hypnosis, first of all, it's not that you go unconscious unless you give yourself permission to trust the environment, the practitioner, yourself, and the experience for you to go deep. Deep where? Deep to the level of your above the subconscious, to your higher self, and even to the oversoul, to enable some information to come through. So the session, I know these are a bit of information. If you have more questions, feel free to write them down or send them through. I'll do my best to address few videos. I like to approach to have an approach that is a bit more thorough, but information will make sense. And also I think it's fair to understand, because it's such a different experience, that it could be very helpful to understand what are the references. So there is an initial, the person arrives to the session with some questions that they would like to be asked upon. I'll talk about later towards the end of the video what could be examples of these questions if you wonder. There is an initial state where, guided by the practitioner, similar to when you go into a meditation, you start to go into breathing or visualization exercise to activate the pineal gland, which is the gland that also works. For example, if you're the type of person that I'm unable to see, if I close my eyes, I just hear the word, I'm not able to visualize, I'm not able to imagine, that's okay. Well, I would invite you to think, can you ever recall about any dreams? And do you dream in color? Do you see things when you dream? Then there you go, your pineal gland is very able to, which is just the gland at the back of the brain, it's active. It's just maybe you're not able, like some people have that pineal gland more active than others, but if you know you can dream, you know you can visualize things. So keep trusting, keep practicing. At some point, when you're ready and willing to experience, it will happen. Now, this is also the beauty of the thing. Everyone is uniquely different, and not everyone would have a visual fully experience. So don't be discouraged, or I would highly suggest to lower any expectation and just to embrace the experience with curiosity and with the willingness to try. But don't beat yourself up with things if you won't be able to see or experience like a past life or anything deeper in the first session. Sometimes it takes time. It could also be tiring in a way for the body to be in that altered state of consciousness. Altered state of consciousness is just mean that your awakening level lowers comparing to the normal threshold where you're right awake. So let's say sometimes we can say the flow state, or is like when before going to bed at night, or as soon as waking up in the morning, that are generally the best time for meditation. The aim is to go even deeper than that, and very often that happens and is a progressive work, hence why the session has stages. We said visualization, breathing exercise, getting in that sweet spot of being ready to go into the experience, and then with the expert guidance of the practitioner, you're guided through the past life regression. If there is what happened during past life regression, most often the person is fully aware or semi-aware of what is going on. This also means that at the end of the session, when the person is getting ready to safely leave the room and go back to their daily life, they would have a memory. Like most often, they recall everything or a big part of what that was about. They may still remember the images, the sound, the experience, the emotions. Now, there is a safe way, which is very important and part of the experience to get out of this part. But as the past life regression continues, there is an examination of what was the message and the importance for that life. And finally, there is a deeper experience, which is mystical, is special, is very powerful. If that comes through, if the person and the practitioner are both ready to facilitate that, for that to come through, or the person is able to have their questions, the question that they prepare at the beginning of the session, answered. Answered by who? Answered by the higher self. And if you're still approaching with this, like, okay, this is fluff, or I don't believe in this, that's okay. Maybe for today you can imagine like I'm telling you about a movie or a story. So you can apply some fantasy with it, but the keys really remain open-minded. And maybe not today, maybe another day, maybe you're already ready. Maybe there's going to be something else that is going to click and light up at some point to make sense of, to spark the readiness to such experience. Again, the wonderful part is that you will have the recording to listen through. And as you will have the recording, there is like no joke, nothing that can be made out of this. I really love the level of, as a practitioner, just being a guide, and whether part of my professional training experience is also being a coach, being a counselor, being an NLP Neuro-Linguistic Programming Master practitioner with some degree of experience in modern hypnosis. I really love this work because it is not me in any way suggesting belief for the person. I'm just asking questions in the best interest to the utmost level of trust, integrity, and love, and holding safe space for the person, but I'm asking questions. So there is no chance whatsoever that the session is made up. If there is a level of trust, if the person is ready to receive the information will come up. And what happens is also, without unveiling too much, there is how this is possible. Everything comes through the voice of the person, but let's leave some magic to that. So there are things that are a little bit beyond, and there is a part that is channeled from the higher self or the oversoul of the person. And this is that's wonderful, because the level of responses, like who best than your higher self or your soul knows about everything about your present life and other lives that you went through, about your purpose, your health, and other things. And because in a quantum, everything is possible and the soul operates a much higher frequency and vibration, there's also a very big restorative and healing power with those frequencies. So I have witnessed like next level stories that you'll be able surely to find as well. It's not too much different, and also in terms of sudden, almost miraculous healing experience that people go through, like Joe Dispenza has recorded so many events similarly. So it is more and more scientifically normalized that this sort of healing through frequency can actually happen, and are very normal and part of the abilities that we aim to rediscover. So coming back to the session, at the end of this, finding out the questions channeled from your higher self, and eventually an healing part where it's appropriate, finding out about what needs to change, what doesn't need to change, what is the guidance, what are the insights that are specifically unique, crafted for you, even revealing things that only you would know, that you have not disclosed to the practitioner, and that the practitioner would have no way of knowing about you. So as you then allow time to listen to the audio, these things are going to be very clear to you, and it's like opening a door, the door of Narnia for some people. It's like really understanding that we also connect, and there is so much beyond the rational mind, which is wonderful. And it is full of light. So what to prepare before and after? We already said the questions. I would suggest really try, this is a work that I always like to picture going, it's like taking the shoes off and going with the highest level of respect and humility and only authentic good intention from the heart to be able to guide the person. It is a honor, but it's also a big responsibility to guide someone in such a private experience. People may have like emotion. By the way, if the practitioner that guides you is of good morals and good skills, he or she will be able to guide you in a way that you don't have to relieve any trauma that may come up. You may just be the observer of the experience. So this is to say, if you're concerned about relieving a few things, first of all, if you're offered to re-see or relieve a few things that someone may label as traumatic, there are different perspectives, different modalities to go through those memories or those information. So I would encourage you to find the love, the compassion, the courage, mostly the curiosity, like curiosity over courage, to go through the experience and take it like with playfulness. You never know what comes up. The beauty is, again, your soul knows better than the physical version of yourself. So if it's not appropriate, if you're not ready to receive some information, then that would not happen. If there's something in the room, in the environment, or the practitioner itself is not a person that you can trust or has not good intention, most likely there could be some synchronicity or something like there to protect you and intervene with the session. And so do your due diligence in trying to align with what is the character and the skills of the person that you're gonna select as the one guiding you for the journey. But then also do your own work. So maybe if you haven't started already, you may benefit from start and doing some grounding exercise or meditation. Grounding is like that ability to be more in your body. Grounding could be even like walking barefoot, on the grass, on the sand, being in the water, being those things, doing those ability. And this is very helpful, especially for the big meditators, to then be able to reintegrate back in the body. Okay, so we want to create that openness with this quantum field that has everything, with that spirituality that we have. So everything that is the soul, to then being able to be in the body and function with all the things that we have to carry on in daily life. And this could be work, family, kids, relationship, business, exercise, anything that may be, driving safely, and anything that you may be able to do. So you want to prepare first your due diligence, things and material, make sure you find out the person. Is this your right to ask questions? Be clear in if there's any expectation, any things that could be involved. So for example, if the session it's paid, it's donation based, location. We said ideally, because the person is guided to access such deep level of trance, of alertness level. Some of my clients describe like, I don't know where I was, like that was very special, but I don't know where I was. Like I recall the session till a certain point and then it's like blank. And then when they listen to the audio, it's like mind-blowing, because they realize all the next part that was channeled, where they received the guidance from their own higher self, which is truly special. So I also suggest the session is better done face-to-face. So think about, many people prefer to do it online. Opens up different level of possibility. When I do online session, I don't go as deep, and this is just safety precaution for the person. If the internet goes off, if anything happens, you really want to be able to be sort of like, if you're in a meditation state and you close your eyes, and if you open your eyes, even if you had access a past life, it's not going to be, you're still going to be able and in control to operate, to function, to call the person, to have the computer restarted, or to go on with your daily life, and then reach out to the person if you need more guidance. Okay, so that's very important. If you access, that's a non-ballistic or deeper layer of brain waves, then it's going to be quite difficult and possibly not as safe to be left alone in that circumstance. So it is strictly really advised that if you would have to access that deepest part of the session where you're going to be channeling your higher self, you want to be face to face with the person. When people come to see me, I suggest them bring with them some item that give them comfort. This could be a blanket that you have. It could be something, an object or something that, like say for example, one of my last clients, she had with them one of the toy from her daughter to give her comfort and that sense of safety, that sense of familiarity, because you're going to be in a room where unless the practitioner comes to your house, it may be a different type of environment. So that could help. The session could be done with silent background. I like to put in the background some beats or solfeggio frequency that are inducive, like that drifting and very soothing background to facilitate for the person to enter that that state of meditation. Sorry, it's quite late for me. What to expect in terms of emotion. Emotion may come up. There is no touch, there is no contact during the session. So even say, for example, you have a session with me and you go through something that is quite intense and you feel like crying, tears may come up, or different part of experience that may cause emotions to come up. This could happen. I would not touch the person. And this is because in that state of being zoned out in a different reality, for them it's like a virtual reality with your own personal background of knowledge and information. You don't want to disrupt the person. You don't want to create a shock to the body, to the person. So, but again, there is professional tools, like I can use my voice to guide the person and approach the scene from a different perspective. After, it could be a lot. I suggest, especially if the session was good, if then the client has a moment or hours, ideally, or even better, a day or two, where there is no too much, for example, there's no presentation or a deadline from study or from work. If there is a bubble of hours or a day where the person, the client, can take care of themselves, I would highly suggest to listen to the audio. We said if you go into deeper and deeper layer of your awareness, and when you channel that part of yourself, you may not be able to recall. Now let's say this, you're always in control and you always give permission. So the part of your mind, the part of your brain, in reality is always present. It just slides aside as enable your information to come through. It's always you. It's just the soul and the physical mind. So you'll be able, everything is going to make sense once you listen to the recording. But what I'm trying to say is, if you came to the session with specific questions, then be open that guidance may have been offered, and you'll find out when you listen to the recording. So delaying, if you're waiting, if you ask for guidance for something that is immediate, or say for example to do with a family member relationship, with a job, a decision that you need to make, something to do with your health, something to do with your child, something else, something that you experience regularly, in that audio there may be the responses to the guidance, and the practitioner could give you int or not. If I feel it's appropriate, then I really encourage my clients to don't delay the listening. Some people like have the courage to go through the experience and then they do steps back. It's like, no, I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to listen to it, and postpone and allow weeks to try. And that's okay. Everyone has their own timing. Everyone is uniquely in a different way. But if I encourage, then I know it's safe for the person to listen. And again, then expect. This is okay. For some people, some of you may be very well aware of the quantum field of incarnation, regression. We all one, sources in everyone. So perfect. You might be more comfortable with this sort of knowledge. Other people are eager, like it's like they've tried everything. They are astonished at the success that other people have and are willing or curious to try. But once is to hear and to cognitively hear in the brain that these sort of things may happen, and once is to experience it. So in the moment where you're going to be listening to the recording, it would be very, very good if you make sure that happens, where then, say for example, you're going to sleep, and sleep helps a lot to reprocess and reset and reintegrate emotion and everything that happens, to process everything that happens, to reintegrate back in the body. Or when you have times for self-care, that if